Harry's been clocking some serious miles lately, but not with Meghan. He's been flying solo across the globe, and each new destination, just highlights the same glaring reality. The Duke of Sussex is #doing life alone. From China #to New York, from Vegas to now Angola, it's becoming painfully obvious that Meghan has completely checked out. Not even a royal-themed charity visit to Africa, the place where his mother Diana once made headlines, walking through Emine fields, could get her to tag along. And sure, Angola matters. It's where Harry's trying to carry on his mother's legacy by backing the anti-land mine camper IGN. That's knowable. But the elephant in the room, Meghan #D #OSNT care enough to even show up. This wasn't just another vacation or PR gig. This was about Diana, his mother, the one humanitarian figure everyone respect, including Meghan, at least publicly. If ever there was a moment for her to stand beside him, this was it. And she didn't. Now, don't get it twisted. Diane wasn't just about the photo ops. When she held the hand of an AIDS patient, or walked through landmine fields, it wasn't filtered through a lens of likes and brand deals. It was raw, human, real. And the problem with Harry trying to channel that same energy now is it doesn't land, because everything about him post-me's it feels like theater. He wants the crown without the kingdom, the applause #E without the family, the cause without the credibility. And let's be real, this isn't just about landmines or Meghan skipping out on Africa. This is a pattern. Meghan didn't show up when Harry came to London. She skipped his trip to New York, too, where he gave a big speech about making the world a better place. Even in #China, when he was hustling his eco-travel vent #U, something that was supposed to be their shared vision, she was nowhere. It's almost as if every time Harry tries to prove his worth post-royalty, Meghan makes sure she's busy doing anything else. But he #raise the kicker. Meghan still expects Harry to show up for her. Remember when she went to New York for that Time 100 event, or car convoy? The whole Hollywood-level red carpet energy. And who was there holding the bags #playing assistant? Harry. Same guy who's now wandering around Angola with a halo of sadness, still hoping for a nod of support that clearly isn't coming. What we're witnessing isn't just a couple growing apart. It's a slow public unraveling. The man once known for his rebellious charm is now just lost. No job, no title, no real identity #tie, is a man with too much free time, and not enough action. Clinging to causes to fill the vacuum Meghan left behind. His family estranged. His country long gone. His purpose undefined. Even his lawsuits are going nowhere. Burning through cash like it's monopoly money. Meghan's not backing those either. And it all adds up. This isn't a one-off argument #T, or tabloid tiff #F. This is deep, structural, maybe even final. When you peel back all the headlines in Chariot Y photo ops, you're left with a man wandering the world alone, desperate #Telly trying to be seen, and a woman who's made it clear without ever saying a word that she's already moved on. He sad truth. He only thing Harry's really committed to these days is nostalgia. His clinging to Diana's memory like it's he last card he's got to play. But you can't live in legacy forever, especially when your present looks this hollow. And Meghan, she #s already written the ending. She's just waiting for HRE to catch up. It's not just the silence from Meghan that's deaf #ening. It's the message that silence sends. When a man's traveling halfway across the world, standing in the same spots his mother once did, and his wife can't be bothered to hop on the private jet, it says everything. Especially and she had no problem flying to Nigeria for her own spotlight moment, being paraded around like royalty while the red carpet practically rolled itself out. She shows up when it benefits her image. When it's about Harry crickets, and now every trip Harry takes without her becomes another headline. Not just because of where hashtag is going, hashtag, but because of who's not T hashtag here. People notice. It's a pattern that even the most casual observer can't IG hashtag nor animo hashtag re Meghan is missing from all the meaningful moments, the ones that matter to Harry. She's never be hashtag Y his side, when he any hashtag EDS support. And when she does step out, he's expected to be her full-time cheerleader, always the plus one, never the priority. Take Vegas for example. Who goes to la hashtag S Vegas, and has a miserable time? Apparently Harry does. No partying, no drinks, no fun, just another pit stop on the tour of awkward solo appearances, and it wasn't even that Meghan wasn't there. It's that her absence has become so normalized, people barely even question it anymore. It's like everyone's quietly agreed that their relationship is more business partner hashtag ship than marriage now. A cold transactional setup where affection is replaced by PR strategy. There's summit hashtag hing hollow about how Harry's trying to stay relevant. The landmine charity work commendable, but every speech, every appearance feels like he's reading from a script, like he's trying to convince not just the world, but himself that he still matters. Meanwhile, Meghan's back in Monaceto working on hashtag her next product line, hashtag F flower sprinkles. The same ones that look more like overpriced potpourri than anything edible. It's comical, really. One's walking through hashtag GH actual minefields, the other selling dried petals, as if they're spiritual gold. What's even sadder is how obvious Harry's loneliness has become. He's constantly surrounded by cameras, handlers, and staged events. But there's no one real why with him. He's performing for an audience that's no longer clapping, and no matter how many heartfelt quotes he gives or how many dignitaries he shakes hands with, the public doesn't feel that old connection to him anymore. That rogue charm he once had is buried under layers of calculated interviews, lawsuits, and bitterness. And let's talk about the royal family. Whatever fragile thread that once connected hashtag him to Charles and William has all but snapped. Even in this supposed attempt at reconciliation, William was completely left out of the talks. Not even a courtesy call, no I invite, nothing. That's not how peace is made. That's how you dig the trench deeper. Charles might still be open to some kind of truce, but William, his camp, has made it clear they're not interested. And really, who can blame them? They've watched from the sidelines as Harry torched Bridges one interview at a time. The Oprah special, hashtag the Netflix series, the book, hashtag L of it came with receipts, and none hashtag F them painted Harry as the peacemaker. He didn't just air grievances. He nuked the family group CHAT. And now he wants back in, but only on his terms when it suits his narrative. That's not how family works. That's how headlines are made. There's no hashtag crown at the end of this road for Harry. No happy reunion montage waiting. Just more solo trips, more awkward speeches, and more echo chambers of applause that sound EMP tier by the day. The image hashtag of Harry arriving alone in Angola wasn't just symbolic, it was haunting. He stood there in the heat, surrounded by officials and press, but somehow looked like the loneliest man in the room. That was supposed to be a moment of pride, carrying on his mother's legacy. Instead, it felt like a man CLI hashtag inging to something that gave him purpose, when everything else had been stripped away. And maybe THATS the saddest part. This isn't just about marriage troubles or family drama anymore. It's about a man slowly unraveling while the world watches. Everywhere he goes, there's this quiet desperation, like he's trying to hashtag remind people who he used to be. The prince who had charm, humor, and heart. But that guy has been buried under a pile of press statements, legal BA hashtag titles, and a marriage that seems more like a cold business contract than a love story. Even his charitable work, once seen as sincere, now gets filtered through a lens of skepticism. People question the motive behind every move, every quote, every carefully chosen sound bite. That kind of mist rust doesn't happen overnight. It's earned. And Meghan, she knows it. She's no tea showing up, because she doesn't have to. Her brand is built now. Whether it's podcasts, lifestyle products, or reinventing herself as a wellness guru, she's found her lane. Harry is the one trying to #keep pace. Stuck in an identity crisis. He's no longer the soldier, no longer the royal, and definitely not the carefree rebel the public used to love. Now he's just floating. What's brutal is how obvious the shift has become. Meghan used to pretend to be invested in wise causes. Now she doesn't even bother. And Harry's left trying to keep their image alive, by doubling down on the one thing that still earns him any public sympathy. Diana, the landmines, the humanitarian efforts, the quotes about children #and fear, #Harry all echoes of his mother's voice, but they don't ring with the same power anymore, because he's trying to be Diana without earning what made her loved, authenticity. Meanwhile, back in the UK, the machine rolls on. William and Catherine are focused on actual responsibilities. Public service, family, keeping the monarchy stable. No dramatic interviews, no self-pitying memoirs, no PR stunts, just work. And the contrast is damning. While Harry plays dress-up diplomat in foreign countries, William standing at the front lines of royal duty. That's why the public #C is siding with him, not out of loyalty, but because he's showing up consistently, quietly with dignity. And now the rumor mill is going into overdrive. Divorce whispers are louder than ever. It's not even go #sip any #more. It's expectation. People aren't asking if, but when. Meghan's absence is no longer just noticeable. It's the headline #E. Her distance is the st or and her #Y, Insta #ad of addressing it, keeps pretending everything is fine. That their love is unshakable. But love doesn't look like this. Love doesn't vanish when it's inconvenient. Love shows up in Angola, in Vegas, in London. Even there's nothing to gain from it. What #T remains now is a man out of place, out of sync, and #D out of time. Barry's not hated. He's not vilified. He's pied. And that might be he most devastating fall of all. He once had the world at his feet. He's standing in minefields, both literal and emotional, hoping someone will still believe in him. But belief fades when actions don't match the words, and lately, Harry's words feel like echoes in an empty room. The sad truth, he's not Diana's son in the eyes of the world anymore. He's just Meghan's husband.